This AskReddit user asks, what was something your family did that you didn't realize wasn't normal until you did it in front of others? Saying "goddammit" after sneezing. That was an interesting day in first grade. We say shut up. Can be awkward with new people. Tends to get laughs though. We say something similar after a third sneeze. Bless you. Bless you. Are you done already? Combination here lol. Bless you. Bless you. Shut the FK up. Eat at our computer desks rather than the dining room table. I came here to say the opposite. We always had family dinner every night at the dining table. Then when I was older and started hanging out at other kids' houses, I realized not every family did that. Everyone would kinda just come into the kitchen, get food, and the retreat back into the house. Weirder were families that didn't have dinner and kind of just left everyone to fend for themselves. Dinner together was for eating out and special occasions. I liked my family dinners. One of the few things my parents did right. The if he hits you, it's okay to hit him back rule. I'm say he since I only have a brother. Just as long as it wasn't downright brutal or enough to have longer-term consequences than a string that lasts maybe 3 minutes. It was okay. Edit. We also don't have formal breakfasts or even lunches. Just dinners. And even those can get muddled. Breakfast because we all have widely varying sleep schedules. And lunch because we don't really have that much free time around noon. I grew up in a family of deep sleepers. I could sing loudly, slam the door, and talk on the phone at 2 a.m. And I wouldn't get a single complaint. I've built some god-awful habits because of this. Didn't realize how rude I was when closing doors, staying up late until I moved to college and had roommates. Sorry to my roommates Jose and Franz. My mom made up words. I didn't know this until I was an adult. Out in the world saying fake words and having no idea. Wankijad means when you've been laying or sitting down and your pants need to be adjusted. Goo goo baby, small baby that still makes cooing sounds and probably still wears a diaper. Just the memorable one. There are so many. I used to call my dress shoes clippity clops. Quote, my GMA says stairs steps instead of just stairs or steps. I used to say it as a kid but I outgrew it Flush the toilet after peeing. We tried to save water. So we basically peed until someone took a dump. Then one day I went to a family friend's house and freaked everyone out because I didn't flush. Edit 1. Forgot to mention that we were a family of 5 with one working toilet. And my dad SS like 3 times a day. Edit 2. Our bathroom was on the 2nd floor and it had a window. This thing can work until your bathroom gets filled with pee smell. Not recommended. Edit. Thanks, guys. Now my top voted comment is about the stain of pee. Go for late night walks to the Tim Hortons for donuts. So I grew up in a family full of night owls. We all prefer to sleep in the day and be up at night. And most of us can function on very little sleep when needed. I remember on multiple occasions as a kid being like 8 or 9. Playing quietly in my room around midnight while my parents and sisters watched TV downstairs and overhearing somebody say, fuck. I could really go for a coffee right about now. And then getting all excited because that usually meant we'd be going for a night walk and getting donuts. I didn't realize it wasn't normal for children to go out at midnight to get donuts until I was being all nostalgic with my friends in my teens and they were like WTF. I was in bed by 7. Quote. Giving nicknames to everything we see. And talking to everything we see. I used to think it's normal to have a conversation with every pigeon on my way. But then I did it while walking with my friend. And that was the time when I found out that my parents are weirdos. Take AST with the door open and talking to whomever happened to be standing in the doorway lol. Ah, the joys of the all-female household. The toilet is a no-discussion zone. I don't care if there's a riot and the house is burning down. I need some peace and quiet when I st. No exceptions. My mom thinks that because she's a nurse and has seen all the body parts on every kind of person that it's okay for her to walk in the bathroom when a family member is using the shower or toilet and then takes her time brushing her teeth or hair. It's okay, I've seen it all before. No thank you. The thought of brushing my teeth while someone is taking ast makes me gag. To me it was normal to have parents run out in the middle of anything for fire department calls. It didn't worry me too much until I saw a big AS farm propane tank explode as my dad went driving up towards the fire. Some of my friends asked if I was concerned about them getting hurt, killed while out on a fire call, but it never occurred to me to worry about that because they've usually always came home. My dad ended up in hospital a couple times, but I've never worried about that. Now my kids can grow up with that haha. Having a physical fight at least 3 times a day. But we weren't arguing, kind of like playing fighting games. Keeps you in shape. Respond to sneezes with a sarcastic, "You are not blessed." I got a lot of weird looks in school from my teachers. I about killed a distant family member from a surprised laughing fit my response sent him into though. Lol. He was actually kind of impressed we had that sense of humor at our young age. Apparently it's not normal for your parents to openly and graphically discuss their sex life with you. And it's definitely not normal for your parents to have multiple partners younger than you. Edit. Since so many are asking. My parents didn't start this behavior until I was an adult. When I say the partners are younger, I mean they're sleeping with college kids while I'm in my mid to late 20s. Oof. That's awkward. Depending on time frame. Even criminal. Same. Buddy. Same. The person in question was 3 months older than my brother. He was gross as FK. But now that I'm in my 30s I have to think to myself. DN. That person who ruined my life when I was a teenager was also a teenager. My mom was proudly and vocally FG someone barely older than me. I need to reassess that blame. Not normal. Not okay. This isn't my family, but my ex-BF used to pick up his mom, throw her over his shoulder and spank her. She would then pinch his BT. It was creepy AF. We buy treats for family every time we leave the house. And by every time, I mean every single time. Every time I get off work, I buy a treat for my siblings to share. Every time someone in the house has an errand to run, they come back with a treat for everyone. Didn't realize it wasn't a normal thing until I asked friends to wait for me while I picked out some snacks to take home. A family towel. We had a towel rack. And we'd just hang our towels. It wasn't designated to anyone in particular, and every few days we'd just replace the dirty towel with a clean one. In college, a friend came to visit our home when she very politely asked why we all use the same towel. It just never occurred to me that that was weird. That is definitely an interesting one. What if someone just used it before you and it's all soggy? How often would you guys want the towel? Why would I clean the towel? The towel cleans me. What am I gonna do? Wash the shower next? Wash a bar of soap? You gotta think here, pal. Having 2 mums. A lot of the family friends were 2-mum households with the occasional 2-dad household. My best friend through junior school had a single mother. I must have been almost 10 when I realized that most families have a mom and a dad. Eating ribs with a fork and knife. I was 17 when I found out that it is okay to pick them up and eat them with your hands. Smoking indoors. I didn't do it. But my GF at the time had a veritable panic attack when we had my mother over for dinner. It was the first and only time my mother came to visit. I was born mid-70s. So I remember smoking in malls, planes, hospitals, etc. Both my parents were non-smokers, which made them unique enough. But still, every time someone came over, they'd pull out these giant ashtrays for their guests. Such a different time. Would you be shocked to hear, I went to junior school in the 1970s. I can vividly remember at least 2 teachers who smoked in class. Ashtrays on their desks. No FS given by anybody. I graduated HS in the 90s. Our school had a smoke pit, which was a large area between 2 buildings where it was 100% okay for students to smoke between classes. It didn't matter that we couldn't legally buy cigarettes. If we had them, we were allowed to smoke them. Double dipping chips. Had no idea that frowned upon. My husband's aunt does that. She also makes this famous potato salad that she rants on about how amazing it is. Nobody else does. And I've watched her making it. Repeatedly licking the spoon as she stirs. Have a glass of milk with every meal. Not something I've ever done in front of other people. But I get scandalized reactions sometimes when I tell people that my parents spanked me and my brothers. Maybe it's just not as common outside of the South because a bunch of my friends' parents definitely did it too. I know corporal punishment has fallen out of favor and that's probably a good thing, but sometimes people react like I should have been traumatized by it and I wasn't. When we have big family dinners. Sunday NGHTS. Thanksgiving. Birthday dinners. Xmas. And just regular nightly dinner. My mom would serve us each individually from the kitchen instead of putting the food on the table and letting everyone serve themselves. I didn't realize how weird this was until being a guest at others' family dinners and seeing that not a single one of my friends' moms did this. It makes a lot more sense to let people serve themselves. Other than children. As they know what they want and how much a lot more than the hostess knows. It's also a very working class way of arranging meal times. Working class families have less of a budget, so letting people, especially kids, choose how much they want to eat isn't an option. There's usually a set amount to go around. So it's given rather than taken. Interesting. That wasn't my mom's reason for doing it. She always cooked a ton and tried to get to eat as much as possible because she'd hate having leftovers. I think she did it because she's kind of a control freak. So it was the natural thing for her to do. My mom. When she is telling anyone a recipe or even instructing us in the kitchen, uses the statement and then go grrrrrrrr the tomatoes to make a puree of it. I've grown up with it. So I find it normal. I know she means I need to grind, blend, juice it in the mixer, grinder. Grrrr being the human equivalent of the sound a mixer makes. My sister used the same format. When she was discussing a recipe in her college, there were 8 to 10 people around her who just looked confused. They asked her to repeat. Then a friend started laughing. Realizing that grrrrrr means using the mixer, grinder. My sister took an actual minute to realize that it's not a normal way to say, grind that up. We had such a laugh when she came back and told us about the incident. We still use grrrrr when communicating at home. When communicating to outsiders, we have stopped ourselves from using that. I was punished as a child. Not the standard put in timeout. Or grounded from certain things. I learned in college that a lot of people my age, 18 to 23, didn't get spanked with a belt to the point welts formed and it hurt to sit down. Bars of soap shoved into their mouths after saying a naughty word. Pulled down the stairs and smacked across the face repeatedly after getting caught doing something wrong. Having things thrown at them. Or being called terrible names. My dad liked calling me a queer BD. My mom is a yawn yeller. When she yawns, you can hear it from anywhere in the house. One time my sister had a friend over. And we were in the basement. My mom yawned upstairs. And my sister's friend asked, "Was that a coyote?" Quote, "My mom yells when she sneezes. In order for her to stop sneezing, she has to basically sneeze really loud, kinda like achhoo. One time my brother had a friend over and he thought something was going on outside. It was my mom sneezing in her room. My dad sneezes super loud as well. I once lost him in a large bookstore. Heard a loud achoo, and then I found him again. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more videos.